In March 1888, the eastern U.S. was basking in unseasonably warm weather. Yet the small team of meteorologists in the U.S. Army Signal Corps, using limited tools, saw a terrifying pressure gradient forming. They issued a warning for a severe blizzard that was promptly ignored by the public and officials. The result? The devastating Great Blizzard of 1888, the Great White Hurricane, which claimed over 400 lives and paralyzed cities for days. This is the ultimate cautionary tale about the importance of data-driven conclusions and the failure of critical thinking when faced with unpopular facts. They trusted what they felt, warm air, over what the data showed. A massive collision of atmospheric systems. Hey, weather watchers, and welcome to a story that's less about a forecast and more about a foresnort. Picture this: March 10th, 1888, New York City. It felt like spring had officially sprung. Temperatures were climbing, the air was unseasonably warm. People were thinking, winter? Nah, we're all clear. Time to put those heavy coats on ice. They were enjoying the beautiful weather, utterly unaware that Argentai on me snow joke was about to be played on the entire East Coast. But while the public was enjoying the balmy air, a small, dedicated group of scientists, the meteorologists of the U.S. Army Signal Corps, were sweating over their charts. They were staring at what they called a truly wicked pressure gradient. In the late 1800s, forecasting was primitive, but they had one incredible new tool: the telegraph. Weather data could zip from station to station, allowing them to map a huge area, from the Great Plains right to the Atlantic. They weren't just reading local temps. They were seeing the big picture. And what the big picture told them was terrifying. A massive, bone-chilling cold front was hurtling down from Canada, and it was on a direct collision course with a warm, moisture-rich, low-pressure system bubbling up from the south. The difference in barometric pressure between these two systems was extreme. This wasn't just rain, this was a monster in the making. The Signal Corps analysts issued a stark warning: severe blizzard conditions, high winds, and rapidly plunging temperatures. It was an unpopular forecast. In fact, most people in the cities, enjoying the mild March air, simply shrugged it off. Their own senses contradicted the unpopular data. They thought the meteorologists were just blowing a little hot air. Their skepticism was, quite frankly, a grave mistake. Then it happened. Sunday night, March 11th, the rain started. By early Monday morning, March 12th, the temperature dropped like a stone, and the rain turned to snow, blizzard snow. Sustained winds of 45+ miles per hour, with gusts over 80, whipped the fresh powder into blinding drifts. This was the Great Blizzard of 1888, or the Great White Hurricane. Visibility plummeted to 0. People who had scoffed at the unpopular forecast left for work lightly dressed and were stranded instantly. Trains were buried in drifts up to 50 feet high. Communication was paralyzed. The overhead telegraph lines, the very system that allowed the warnings to be issued, were snapped, buried, and useless. The storm was so bad, it completely derailed the entire city's morning commute. Over 400 people died, including about 200 in New York City alone. Hundreds of ships were wrecked off the coast. The cost in lives and property was immense, all because a logical, data-driven, yet unpopular prediction was dismissed in favor of convenience and common sense, which, in this case, was spectacularly wrong. The devastating effects of this blizzard taught a brutal lesson. The catastrophe was a direct result of people choosing to trust what they saw out the window, a mild day, over the rigorous logical analysis of pressure and temperature data. The meteorologists were the only ones who saw the two giant weather systems on their collision course. Today, forecasting is infinitely more complex and accurate, thanks in part to the lessons learned in 1888. But the core principle remains. The best defense against disaster is trusting the rigorous, logical data analysis, even when it goes against our gut feeling or convenience. Science isn't always popular, but it's often right. So, next time a meteorologist tells you a storm is coming, don't let their warning drift away. If you're fascinated by the hidden stories behind the world's biggest challenges and the unlikely heroes who solved them, you're in the right place. Here at Unskooler, we peel back the layers of conventional history to find the moments where radical thinking changed everything. Don't just learn history, understand how the world works. Hit the like button and subscribe for more Unskooler problem-solving videos.